have worked in a government hospital and I have seen patients aged from 50 to 60 to 70 years old arriving with emergencies on 15 to 20 medicine every single day. Let's understand how these patients have landed in such a condition. When you grow old, you tend to walk more slowly. And when you are coming down the stairs, you tend to use the side handrails. When you are sitting down on a chair, you try to push yourself up just to stand up. This is just growing old, right? This is all what we have been told. Is it? Not really. Let's understand. When older patients arrive with emergency, you can clearly see how weak and frail they have become. A, you can clearly see how low muscle mass they have, and B, you can see the bones directly through their skin. Now I will tell you 4 such things that you need to train to prevent aging and to age gracefully. Let's begin. The first thing that you need to take care is your quadriceps. Quadriceps is the major muscle group in the front of your thigh. Around 30 years of age, all of us will start to lose 1 to 2% of muscle mass every year unless you try to strength train. But it does not sound much, right? 1 to 2% is okay. Unless you go 20-30 years in future. Once you are 60 to 70 years old, you have lost 30% of your muscle mass. And that is 1/3 of your original muscle mass. This is called as sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is age-related muscle loss. And now you know why most elderly people get hospitalized easily, have more falls, more fractures, and more premature deaths. Once a 70-year-old has hip fracture, he carries a 1-year mortality of 30%. So what can you do? Let's do a simple test. This test is for your quadriceps. Cross your arms, sit on a chair and try to stand up from sitting position 5 times. If you have difficulty in standing up or you search for armrest, then there is something wrong and that needs attention. So what can you do? If you're a beginner, you can do the same test as an exercise. The exercise is the test and the test is the exercise. Sit on a chair and try to stand up 10 times. This is called chair squats. Try to make a controlled movement. But if you are more young, then you should go for squats and slowly progress the squats to weighted squats in the gym or at the house. The second muscle is your calves. Most of us tend to ignore this, even the ones who are going to the gym. Why? Because it's a boring exercise. But remember, this is one of the most important exercise for anti-fall mechanism. There's a quick test that you can try. Take support of a counter or a wall and try single leg calf raises. At least try to do 10. If you cannot do or you're shaky or it's difficult for you, then you start training them hard. You can start training them with the same exercise at home or you can start using weighted exercises at the gym. The third muscle is your core. It's not only about the aesthetics or the six-pack abs, but it's about what the core provides you with. A strong core is responsible for postural stability and it helps you do almost everything in this world. From walking to standing up to doing squats, everything requires core strength. When your core becomes weak, you tend to bend forward and your center of gravity shifts. That is why when you see older people, they are always hunched back and they tend to fall. Another point that you need to take care is that when you're constantly hunched and you move forward, your center of gravity shifts. And to maintain your posture and to prevent any falls, your cerebellum, the organ here responsible to maintain your balance, has to continuously work in order to prevent yourself from falling. When it gets continuous signals from your lower limbs, the neural signals ultimately degrade and your cerebellum gets less sensitive. and that is why older people tend to fall more.